Hey guys, I decided to do a couple of tutorials and I figured the best way to start it off was by doing a little head swap, so that's what I'm going to do today. First thing first, make sure that your work table is clean and ready. I always like to drag my viewports all the way up. I leave the other viewports open so I can easily drag them down and use them for wireframe to align things. You don't have to do this, it's basically just preference, but that's the way I do it. Yeah, I always turn on viewport clipping as well. It basically allows you to zoom in closer to watch your object. Again, you don't have to do that. That's just the way I do it. Next thing is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is import the models that you want to use. If you have CamScript, the old one, it should show up over here, and you basically just click the DFF IO button. Because I have two CamScripts, I need to run the script myself, which I'm going to do right now. Basically, it should open this little pop-up. And all you need to do is you go to the import tab. Always make sure that A is selected because it skins the model for you. And then you just press the import button. I'm going to use a skin that I already selected for this, but basically you just open the skins that you want to head swap. In this case, I'm going to use a skin that I made a little while ago, which is for one of my characters. And just drag it around to make sure that it's facing the front side. Just makes things easier. As you can see, it's skinned right now, but we're not going to use the bones from this skin. We're only going to use the head to put on a new model. So we're going to select everything, and we're going to hold Ctrl while we click on the body. So it deselects the model, and it just keeps the bones selected. And now you press delete on your keyboard and just deletes the bones. Should look like this. Next thing we're going to do is, for a head swap, we're only going to need the head texture and the neck texture, if there are different textures. So the rest of the body, you don't really need to put a texture on it. You can do that if it makes it easier for you, but you don't have to. So in this case, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to put a texture on the head and the neck so I know which parts I want to use. The fastest way to do that is if you go to the polygon editor, and you just click on one polygon on the head. And if you go down to surface properties, you'll see that it's selected 7. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to select it again, and it selects all the polygons that have this texture applied. So I'm going to go to my textures folder. I'm just going to drag on the head texture, and that's done. That's everything you need. All the other stuff you're not going to need it. So I'm just going to select it and delete it. And once you've got like most of it selected, you can go the same way as applying the textures, which is just selecting what you don't need and deleting it. 7 I'm gonna need, so 3 is gone, and now all I'm left with is the head and the neck. These two we don't need because they're extra, so we're just gonna delete them as well. Alright, let's see. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna import the model that we wanna swap the head onto. I'm just going to slap it onto bbFin. It will work fine for this demonstration, so I'm just going to import that as well. And the same thing I did with the previous one. Just select it and rotate it towards the front face, so it's just easier for everything. Alright, let's drag it out of the way a little bit, give a little bit more clear view. For this one, I'm just going to drag on the texture because it makes things a little bit easier to follow. And now all you're going to do is you're going to go to vertex and you're going to select all the head vertices. You can use the wireframe, makes things a little bit easier. And always make sure that if it has like throat or neck vertices, like this one, select it as well. Just hold Ctrl and select it, and boom, there you go. Never select any of the vertices that connect the neck to the body, because if you do that, it will also delete this part around here. So don't do that. Just leave them be. Right. So we got all the head vertices selected, and now we're going to go back to the skin that we want to use. as you can see, because I deleted the body, the pivot is still in the middle. What you can do is, if you find it easier, you can go to hierarchy, effect pivot only, click it, and what you want to do is you want to center the pivot to the object. So you're just going to press this button, moves it up here, you deselect it, and done. And now you can move the head without having to scroll down or whatever. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to drag it into the BP fin. I'm going to pull up the wireframe just to make it a little bit easier. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to align it with the old head. Make sure that it's somewhat in the middle. You can be a little bit off because you can still correct it in the end. But the more spot on you have it right now, the easier and the less time consuming it will be. Because it's easy to align it right now. Right, once that's done, I'm gonna drag this one back up, and we're gonna align it like on this side as well. This can be a little bit more freely. This looks fine. Now, one of the things that I usually do, which I don't see a lot of people doing, but I find it very easy to head swap doing it this way, is I drag the head all the way up, just out of the side a little bit like this. And now I go to vertex, make sure that nothing is selected. You don't want any of them being red. And then you go back to this model and you're going to go to vertex again. If everything is right, you should still have the full head selected. Keep it that way. Now what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down and press the attach button. And you basically just click on the head that you want to swap it to. You click it, press the middle one, press OK, and it's attached. Now all you need to do is press delete on your keyboard to delete the old head, like that. Press attach again, so it's not attaching anymore. Select, no, don't do that. Select one of the vertexes that you want to snap onto the body, and scroll down to the weld area, press start it, and you can basically just drag this in any way you want. You can use any of the directions, and just move your mouse to the vertex that you want to snap it onto. So basically, this is the middle one, so I want to drag it into the middle, release, and it should snap on perfectly. But before you do that, let me just reverse it real quick. What you want to do is you want to look at how many vertexes you have on the neck and how many slots you have to snap them on the body. So in this case, I always start at the front and I end in the back, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. And on the body we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have one more slot on the body than we have vertexes on the neck. So basically what you want to do is you want to look at the way the vertexes are on the neck, and then look at the body. As you can see here, we got quite a bit of a long stretch here, while there's only, like, they're very close over here. So we're gonna try and replicate that on the body, and how we're gonna do that is by using the touchy tool again. We're gonna select, let's see, I'm gonna select this one and drag it towards this one to replicate the long bit here and the close ones here. So we're going to do that on both sides, just like that. We're going to deselect the touchy tool, and as you can see, we now have 6 slots on the body, just like we have on the neck. So now we can just use the touchy tool to do what I showed you before, which is just dragging them, literally just dragging them into place. So I'm just going to do that right now. Just like that. And by leaving the head all the way up here, it's much easier to select vertexes without like selecting different vertexes like down at the hands or down at the shoes or whatever by accident, and accidentally like snapping them onto a different vertex as well. So that's the main reason why I do it like this, and it also gives you a lot more visibility to look down on the vertexes without like without having like a blocked view or whatever. So yeah, right, just like that, the entire head is now connected to the body. There should be no gaps, there should be no glitches. This is a perfect head swap. And now all you need to do is bring the head back. It's very easy to select the entire head because there are no vertexes down here. So you can just select everything and you can basically just drag it into place where you want it to be. And you still have a lot of freedom in terms of moving the head to the left and the right. So even if you didn't align it perfectly in the beginning, you can still align it to make it fit whatever you require it for. So in this case, this looks pretty decent enough, so I'll keep it like that. But you can also decide the height of the neck, and you can also still play, put it like exactly where you want it to be. So it's a very simple and a very effective way of head swapping, and that's basically all you need to do. This should be a perfectly head swapped skin, and you can just very easily export it by going down to the export tab. Make sure that your skin is selected. Just click one time on the skin. Make sure that the skin modifier is highlighted, and you just press the export button, the bones and skin export, and you can just replace it with whatever you want. You can also use a new name. Head swapped. There you go. And that's it. That's all you need to do. Yeah, so this was basically my first tutorial. Gonna do a couple more. Let me know like if there's anything in particular that you guys want to see or want me to show you. Even if you have any suggestions for me, like things that I could be doing differently, even though there are many ways to go about, as long as the result is what you want it to be. But I'm always open to learn new things, and if there's anything in particular that you guys want to see me do, just leave it in the comments or message me on Discord or on the forums or whatever.